South Africa, the late 1980s. One by one, young girls are vanishing from shopping centers, from bus stops, from the short walk between a front door and a corner shop. No bodies, no confessions, no answers. For 16 months, this happened 6 times. Police eventually believe they know who is responsible. A quiet Pretoria builder in his 50s. A man neighbors would struggle to describe. Someone finally gets close enough to ask him the one question 6 families need answered: where are the girls? They never get the chance. Within days, the man who might have held that answer is gone, and whatever he knew about where 6 children were taken and what happened to them may have gone with him. More than 3 decades later, not one of the 6 girls has ever been found. No remains, no confession, no trial. Searches have come up empty, again and again, across 2 provinces. Theories have multiplied. Families have grown old waiting by a phone that has never rung. So what actually happened in those 16 months? Who was close enough to the truth that he had to be stopped? And why, after everything investigators uncovered, do we still not know where these 6 girls are? To understand that, we have to go back to South Africa in the late 1980s, before anyone knew the name Gert van Rooyen would become attached to one of the country's most enduring mysteries. If cases like this one matter to you, take a second now to subscribe to Hidden Truth African. It helps this investigation reach the people who need to see if the disappearances span roughly 16 months, and they begin with a single, ordinary afternoon. On August 1st, 1988, 14-year-old Tracy Lee Scott Crossley left her home in Randburg, near Johannesburg, to go shopping. Her older brother had turned down her invitation to come along, a decision that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Witnesses reported seeing a girl matching her description climbing into a Volkswagen Beetle outside a shopping center in Cresta. She was never seen again. A nationwide search followed, along with a poster campaign. Nothing came of it. 4.5 months later, on the 22nd of December, 1988, 12-year-old Fiona Harvey walked 2 blocks from her home in Pietermaritzburg to buy milk. Several witnesses later described seeing a man and a vehicle matching Van Rooyen's near the scene, a white pickup truck reportedly carrying an advertisement for his building contracting business. Fiona did not return from the shop. On 7th June, 1989, 12-year-old Joan Horn disappeared while walking home from a local shop with friends in Pretoria. Accounts describe a vehicle stopping nearby and a woman offering her money to climb in. Then, on the 22nd of September, 1989, 2 close friends from Kempton Park, 11-year-old Odette Boucher and 12-year-old Anne-Marie Wapenaar, vanished on the same day. A week later, Anne-Marie's mother received a letter, apparently in her daughter's handwriting, claiming the 2 girls had run off to Durban. It is widely suspected, though not proven, that the letter was written under duress. Just over a month after that, on the 3rd of November 1989, 13-year-old Yolande Wessels disappeared. Her connection to the case was chillingly direct. She was the niece of Joey Haarhoff. Sources differ on some details of this timeline. Odette Boucher's age is given as either 11 or 12, depending on the report. Tracy Lee Scott Crossley's is 13 or 14, and some outlets count a 6th girl among these 5, while others treat the group differently. What is consistent across every credible source is this: 6 young girls disappeared from South African towns within 16 months, each vanishing suddenly, each leaving behind grieving families and no trace of where they had gone. At first, these disappearances were treated as separate mysteries. Eventually, investigators began asking whether they were connected, and one name kept surfacing: Cornelius Gerhardus van Rooyen, known to nearly everyone as Gert, was born on the 11th of April, 1938. By the late 1980s, he ran a building construction business with his brothers. He had been married, had fathered 6 children, and divorced his wife in 1983. He was not, on the surface, a man anyone would flag as dangerous. He did, however, have a record. Decades earlier, in the 1950s and 60s, he had been sent to reform school and later imprisoned for theft. And according to later reporting, in 1979, he was accused of abducting 2 young girls and assaulting them before releasing them the next day, an incident that, at the time, did not lead to the case being connected to what would follow a decade later. In 1988, Van Rooyen began a relationship with Francina Johanna Hermina Haarhoff, known as Joey, a divorcee reportedly struggling with an addiction to sleeping medication. Investigators would later allege that Haarhoff played a central role in approaching and gaining the trust of the girls, often posing as a concerned adult, before the girls were taken to locations connected to Van Rooyen. It's important to be precise about what is documented and what is alleged. Witnesses in several of the disappearances described a vehicle and, in some cases, a woman matching Haarhoff's description. Physical evidence, including a vehicle bearing an advertisement for Van Rooyen's business, placed him near at least one abduction. But at no point during this period were Van Rooyen or Haarhoff arrested, charged, or brought before a court. Investigators suspected them. They had not yet caught them. For police working the disappearances, the pattern was becoming difficult to ignore. But suspicion, however strong, is not proof. And proof was exactly what they lacked. The case turned not on forensic evidence or a confession, but on one girl's escape. On the 11th of January 1990, 16-year-old Joan Boyson was approached near a bus stop in Pretoria's Church Square by a woman offering her a lift to school. That woman, investigators would conclude, was Joey Haarhoff. Boyson was taken to a house at 227 Malherbe Street in the Capitol Park suburb of Pretoria, Van Rooyen's home, where she was reportedly drugged and locked inside. She managed to escape and reach help. Once free, she was able to describe what had happened to her and identify the address where she had been held. For the first time in the entire 18-month string of disappearances, police had a living witness, a location, and a direct line to the 2 people they had long suspected. This was the moment investigators had been waiting for. The possibility, finally, of being able to sit Gert Van Rooyen and Joey Haarhoff down and ask them directly what had happened to 6 missing girls. But the answers police needed were still 5 days away from being lost forever. Within days of Joan Boyson's escape, police had an address, a description, and, for the first time in 18 months, a real chance to close in. Officers moved to locate Van Rooyen and Haarhoff. What followed was a car chase through the streets of Pretoria. It lasted only minutes, and when it ended, so did any chance of the case being solved, the way everyone had hoped. As police closed in, Van Rooyen shot Haarhoff and then turned the gun on himself. A retired detective who says he was present during the pursuit has described watching it happen. Both died at the scene. Accounts differ on the precise date, either 15th or 16th January 1990, but every source agrees on this. It happened less than a week after Joan Boyson escaped. In an instant, the 2 people who might have known exactly where 6 girls were taken were gone. The legal consequence was stark and permanent. Because neither Van Rooyen nor Haarhoff was ever formally charged or stood trial, no court has ever established their guilt. Under South African law, they remain technically unconvicted. What exists instead is a body of circumstantial evidence, witness testimony, and investigative suspicion. Substantial, but never tested against a defense, never resolved by a verdict. Harder still for the 6 families was the practical consequence. Van Rooyen and Haarhoff could no longer be interrogated. They could no longer be pressed to identify a location, confirm a suspicion, or simply tell the truth. Whatever they knew about Tracy Lee, Fiona, Joan, Odette, Anne-Marie, and Yolande, they carried into their own deaths. Did the answer to where these girls were die with 2 people on a Pretoria street in January 1990? For 36 years, no one has been able to prove otherwise, though that has not stopped investigators from trying. The search for the missing girls. In the aftermath, investigators searched what they had. Van Rooyen's home on Malherbe Street was combed for evidence, and According to later reporting, items connected to some of the missing girls, among them personal belongings, were reportedly recovered from the property. The house was later demolished as part of the investigation into the site. Beyond Pretoria, attention turned to places the couple were known to have visited together, holiday spots along the KwaZulu-Natal coast, particularly Blythedale Beach and Umdloti, north of Durban. In June 2017, following new information developed over a lengthy independent investigation, police forensic teams excavated sections of Blythedale Beach around a stormwater drain using earth-moving equipment. The dig was ultimately stopped after machinery hit a thick concrete slab beneath the sand. No remains were found. Earlier, in 2007, reporting described bones discovered near Van Rooyen's former property, a discovery that raised hopes at the time, but did not result in a confirmed match to any of the 6 girls. In 2019, a retired Natal Midlands detective, Don Chandler, who had worked on the disappearance of Fiona Harvey, opened a new line of inquiry centered on Durban. He pointed to photographs placing Haarhoff near a well-known Durban apartment block, and to records showing Van Rooyen had worked for a Pinetown company transporting materials to Durban, sometimes for onward shipping by container. Chandler raised the possibility that the couple had spent far more time in the city than previously understood, and that this could be relevant to where the girls were taken. This line of investigation, as of the reporting available, remained active rather than concluded. None of these searches, Pretoria, Blythedale, Durban, has produced the girls' remains. Investigators had a presumed suspect. They had 6 missing children. What they still lacked, decades on, was the one thing that could close the case: the girls themselves. In the absence of physical evidence, theories have filled the space, and they vary enormously in how much they can actually be trusted. That the girls were killed near the couple's known haunts. This is the theory that has driven the most searches, based on the fact that Van Rooyen and Haarhoff are documented to have spent time at Blythedale and Umdloti. It has produced no confirmed remains, that the girls were trafficked out of the country. This theory has been raised by more than one investigator, including Chandler, based on Van Rooyen's documented work transporting goods toward shipping routes. It remains a working theory, not a proven outcome. There is no confirmed evidence any of the 6 girls left South Africa. That other people, including government officials, were involved in a wider trafficking network. This claim originates primarily with Van Rooyen's son, who has alleged that former government ministers were connected to a child smuggling operation and that the girls' remains were destroyed with acid or removed to the Middle East. These are serious allegations from a family member, made publicly, but they are not supported by independent evidence and have not been substantiated by any investigation. They belong firmly in the category of unproven claims that a supernatural or ritual element was involved. Related theories, including specific claims tying disappearance dates to solstices and equinoxes, have circulated in some retrospective reporting. These theories rest on pattern matching after the fact rather than on documented evidence, and should be treated with significant skepticism. That one of the girls is still alive. In 2019, a woman named Leah Sloan came forward claiming to be Fiona Harvey. A forensic expert offered an affidavit citing physical similarities, including matching freckle patterns. Harvey's own family publicly rejected the claim. It has never been confirmed through DNA testing reported in the available sourcing, and remains an open, disputed claim rather than an established fact. Each of these theories exists because the central mystery has never been solved. That is worth sitting with. Mystery, left unresolved for long enough, tends to generate rumor in place of evidence. None of the above should be mistaken for a resolution to this case. The years since 1990 have brought renewed attention to the case again and again without bringing the answers families are looking for. A 1996 review of the case, according to later reporting, did not produce new information. The 2017 Blythedale excavation prompted by new leads developed through independent investigation and psychic input from individuals involved in earlier searches, likewise ended without recovering remains. In 2019, on the eve of the case's 30th anniversary, an online petition called on the police minister to appoint a new investigating officer and reopen the case in earnest. That same year, Chandler's Durban-focused inquiry gained public attention as a potentially new direction. The case has also entered popular culture in ways that can blur the line between fact and fiction. The 2021 Netflix film I Am All Girls was loosely inspired by the case, but is a fictional drama, not a documentary. Its central character is a fictional composite, and plot elements, including a confession captured on tape, are invented for the film. A South African drama series, Project Dina, similarly draws on the case's themes of trafficking and missing persons as fiction rather than fact. Neither should be treated as a factual account of what happened to the 6 girls.
As recently as January 2026, on the anniversary of Van Rooyen and Haarhoff's deaths, family members, including Tracy Lee Scott Crossley's brother, spoke publicly about the lasting trauma of never having answers. Based on available reporting, the case remains formally unresolved. No remains have been recovered, no one has been convicted, and the girls remain officially missing. Renewed attention has not, so far, meant new evidence. It's important not to conflate the two. After more than 3 decades, it is worth separating what this case has actually established from what it has merely suggested. What is established? 6 young girls, Tracy Lee Scott Crossley, Fiona Harvey, Joan Horn, Odette Boucher, Anne-Marie Wapenar, and Yolande Wessels, disappeared from South African towns between August 1988 and November 1989. Witness and physical evidence connected Gert Van Rooyen and Joey Haarhoff to several of these disappearances. A 16-year-old girl, Joan Boyson, escaped captivity at Van Rooyen's home in January 1990 and led police to the couple. Days later, Van Rooyen killed Haarhoff and himself as police pursued them. None of the 6 girls has ever been found. What investigators believed, that Van Rooyen and Haarhoff were responsible for abducting and killing the 6 girls, that their bodies were likely disposed of at one or more locations connected to the couple, possibly including the KwaZulu-Natal coast, that the couple may have had help, or that the case could be connected to a wider network. These are documented investigative conclusions and working theories, not the same as courtroom proof, which this case never reached. What remains unknown? Where the 6 girls are, whether Van Rooyen and Haarhoff acted entirely alone, whether anyone else, family members, associates, officials, knew more than they ever disclosed, whether the answers that died with Van Rooyen and Haarhoff in January 1990 might have changed everything, had police reached them 1 week earlier. This documentary will not manufacture a resolution the case itself has never produced. The absence of an answer is itself the story. It would be easy to let this story end with Gert Van Rooyen, with the chase, the gunshots, the unanswered questions about what he knew. Easier still to let his name become the one people remember. But this case is not really about him. It is about 6 children who did not come home. Tracy Lee Scott Crossley, Fiona Harvey, Joan Horn, Odette Boucher, Anne-Marie Wapenar, Yolande Wessels. Behind one of South Africa's most notorious cold cases are families who spent, in some cases are still spending, decades waiting for a phone call that never comes. Decades of theories, searches, and false leads can slowly turn a perpetrator into a household name while the people who were actually lost fade into the background of their own story. This documentary has tried not to let that happen. Gert van Rooyen died in January 1990, but the mystery did not die with him, because until these 6 girls are found, or until evidence finally establishes what happened to them, one question remains unanswered. Where are they? If this investigation introduced you to a part of South African history you had never encountered before, subscribe to Hidden Truth African. And tell me in the comments, what do you believe investigators should still examine in this case? And do you believe the truth can still be uncovered after more than 3 decades? Every mystery has a story. Every story deserves the truth. Hidden Truth African.